Yo! 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 Look at that shit. Oh! Oh my god. That... Oh my god. Oh my god. I don't know what to think. Like, I just finished this volume. This is kind of slightly my raw reactions. The end of the world's reason. Oh my god. You know, here's the thing, okay? This volume of Berserk, that ending, I don't know what to think. Like, there's so many ways I can take that ending. So many ways. And it's not just that. Griffith's foreshadowing ability, how he foreshadowed all the events pretty much that was going to happen to the Emperor in this volume. Wow. Okay, so before I even dive in and talk about this, I want to show you guys the color art, you know, like the art that Kentaro did. Here, look at that, the fucking Emperor. Oh my god, dude. Look at that shit. That is insane. The menacing red eyes and stuff. And then you go to this side, and then you see the selling Prince Roderick. That's badass looking, but I mean... Oh my god. This volume. Volume 33 of Berserk. What can I say? This volume, the build-up, the foreshadowing, and the setup for this one event at the end of this volume is intense. Because it's been hinted that there's going to be slightly a new world popping up for the past couple volumes. And with this, this new world is put into order. Like, for instance... The Emperor, he becomes hell itself, or a god, a demon god. Like, he goes into the infernal abyss and becomes a god, takes in so much evil, and his entire existence in the world's like the end of all reason, according to the medium at the end of this volume. So, he's the end of all reason. Like, now, when we get into the concept of end of all reason, I'm trying to think here. Are they talking about the reason of life and death? The reason of the laws of maybe the astral worlds? The reason of the God hand? I mean, we are not really specific with the reason of the worlds. Like, it's not very specific at all. So, I wonder, what does it mean? Like, what does it really, really mean? Like, I have so many questions right now with that ending. Like, he becomes this giant-ass fucking, how can I describe it? He looks like a giant-ass tree thing. Like, look at that shit. Like, you see this? Look at that shit. He looks like a big giant octopus Cthulhu tree thing right there. Like, the way that looks and all that. Like, what the hell? The artwork, dude, is fucking amazing. Like, oh my god. Just give me a moment of fangasm. Like, shit. This artwork is ridiculous. Like, Kentaro just straight up fangasmed with his art. He's like, you know, just going all with his art. Like, oh my god. So, I want to get into some details, okay? This volume. Griffith foreshadowed what the Emperor was going to do. Like, in this volume... Griffith knew what was going to happen. Like, he gave everybody a vision inside the city when they slept. And this vision was to say that when the fog disappears, that is the time you should try to escape, because soldiers and everybody else will disappear. And Griffith foreshadowed this and let everybody know prior till that happened. So, this makes me believe Griffith knew that this would happen. So, his entire objective all along was to have it to where the Emperor would turn into whatever he is now, to destroy the reason of the world. The big question is, why? Is it, like, I don't know what to think. Because Griffith was able to know what was going to happen, and when I think of something like that, you know what it instantly reminds me of when I think about how Griffith was able to know what was going to happen before it happened? It makes me believe that, you know, some form of concept of the idea of evil is still around, because it's been hinted at, foreshadowed, even after the events of the idea of evil, you know, is thrown out the window. Griffith even knowing what was going to happen, that just goes to show you there's something else going on here. Like, he was able to know destiny, the course of destiny, or what was going to happen before it happened. So, that ending, just like, oh my god, it makes so much sense now that I think about it. Like, Griffith let this dude go, even though he knew what was going to happen, he let this dude go to destroy all reason of the world. Oh my god! So, let's just say this real quick, okay? This volume, absolutely amazing. On multiple different reasons. Like, the setup and the foreshadowing, not just in the Emperor Griffith part, but there's some foreshadowing at the beginning of this volume that I really want to dive into. So, we have it to where the Beast of Darkness comes back. He makes an appearance back in this volume. He appears, and you see how he's kind of, you can consider him that he's talking to Guts in this volume. Like, he's talking to Guts directly when Guts is having a nightmare. And the sad thing is, Guts doesn't remember when he wakes up. He doesn't even remember what type of dream he had, which is very bad, because what the Beast of Darkness said in this volume is massive foreshadowing. Straight up massive foreshadowing. I know for a fact Kentaro would not put something like that in Berserk after seeing what he's done for the majority of this series. He would not put that little segment of a chapter in this volume for nothing. No. Let me dive in and explain what the Beast of Darkness said if you don't exactly remember, if you have already read this volume. The Beast of Darkness said that he will obey. Like, he says the witch, the little witch, thinks she has bind me, like she has tamed me. And no, one day I will break free of these chains. You see these chains binding the Beast of Darkness, and you see him, like, trying to bite him, all that. He's like, for now, I'll obey. I'll conserve my strength. But one day, there will come a time, like that one previous time, where you will lose everything, and it will fuel your rage and darkness, and you will not be able to resist me. And I'm like, oh my god, he is pretty much saying that we might have something close to another eclipse, or like everybody around Guts is going to die, because he states like, the more that this group stays around Guts, the closer they are to probably dying, because if you hang around Guts, you're going to go down an entangled path around Guts that is close and flirting with death. And to see this, it's very fucking scary, because I know for a fact Kentaro has the balls to do something like that. Kentaro would definitely kill off characters. He has no problem with that. He would do anything he possibly can to probably fuck with Guts' mind and destroy his very mental ability to even process thoughts. I mean, Kentaro would go that far. I'm willing to bet he would. And so, with this, I feel like this is foreshadowing for something very, very tragic in the future. Like, I don't know if it's yet to be mentioned, but that dialogue is very crucial. Like, I know for a fact that stands out among a lot of things when it comes to this volume. Like, besides the Emperor and the Selling Prince in this volume, that little key dialogue was one of the most important parts of this volume. It straight up was. And so, I can't wait to see where that's going to go, but I'm also terrified to see what that's going to go, because the Beast of Darkness says that he is going to obey for now and conserve his strength. So he's going to conserve his strength. He's not really going to resist or try to break out and, you know, control Guts' body or whatever. He's just going to conserve his strength and obey for now, until he probably sees his chance. So, I'm scared. I'm very, 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 very scared. And it's not that either. I mean, on top of this Beast of Darkness, you know, saying he'll obey, at the beginning of this volume, you see a key sign that this Berserker armor is really starting to affect Guts, like, in a very negative way. Because at the beginning of the volume, straight up, you see it to where Guts is looking at Casca, and when he looks at Casca, he notices, like, this blackness, like, you know, aura just, you know, blocking his vision, like he can barely see, and he grabs his eye and he starts wiping it, and then he can see again. But I remember the Skeleton Knight, what he said to Guts is that eventually you will lose the ability to see, pretty much like your sight, and be able to taste and stuff like that, and you'll, you know, shiver uncontrollably. So this makes me believe that this Berserker armor is taking these senses away from Guts. He's about to lose his eyesight if he continues to use his Berserker armor, because he already started to see some form of blindness at the beginning of this volume, and this is only volume 33. There's a total of 37 volumes. I have 37 volumes behind me, so I would not put it past me to probably see Guts blind, or probably not able to really enjoy food by the time I get to volume 37, because if he's already starting to experience blindness on volume 33, and I have multiple volumes to go to catch up, I'm willing to bet probably when I catch up, Guts' character is going to be even in a worse situation than he already is. Oh my god. So, another thing, okay, moving on. There is something very apparent at the beginning of this volume, and it's something that's actually been bothering me for a very long time, and I've never really dived into the topic at all since I've been reviewing Berserk. I might have slightly talked about it like a couple of occasions, but I've never really dived into it and discussed it deeply, and I just want to mention it real quick because it was one of the main topics and themes of this volume that was really showcased like in the first quarter of the volume. You have it to where Farnese doesn't want to know what type of person Casca is to Guts. And if we think about this, everybody could assume that Guts loves Casca for some reason or another, and no one truly really knows what happened to Guts in the past. And in the entire company with Guts, nobody really knows the full story of what really happened with Griffith and all that. Only Casca knows, but she's, mentally insane now. And so nobody truly knows what type of relationship Casca and Guts really had, and Farnese didn't want to know this in this volume. Like, she quickly got out of her, spiritual body and went back to her physical body because she didn't want to hear what Guts was saying to Roderick, but this brings up a major question. Is it really good for Guts to see the woman he loves in such a pitiful state that she already is in? Like, Guts, obviously, he still has that attachment to Casca. He has that eternal attachment to her. He loves her. You see it in almost every volume. He loves her. I mean, he hurts himself to protect Casca. That's how far he goes. And so, is it really good for Casca to be around Guts? Like, would it really be good for her to even be around him? Because, I mean, let's think about this. Guts has sacrificed a lot for Casca, a lot of things for Casca, but at the exact same token, Casca has helped him along his path to not go straight up for vengeance and, die fighting demons. So you could, weigh the scale and say Casca has equally helped Guts out, even though she's, technically stupid at the moment and can't speak or do anything at the moment, she still has slightly helped out Guts through these difficult times, or you can necessarily say that it's because of Guts' company that he's able to continue to walk this path. But the main thing is, Guts has sacrificed a lot for Casca. I mean, he's lost his arm, he's lost his sight, he's wearing the Berserker armor to be able to fight demons to protect Casca. I mean, he's taken so much burden upon himself to even watch over Casca. I mean, he's done so much. And it makes me question, like, what if the Fairy King, when he heals Casca, that was already theorized multiple volumes ago, what if Casca doesn't want to be with Guts, and she wants to go with Griffith? Let's think about this. You realize how fucked up that would be on multiple levels? I really have never talked about it deeply enough, but Guts has sacrificed everything. Like, he's probably sacrificed majority of his entire lifespan to protect Casca. And how messed up would it be if Kentaro was to write, or if, Casca was to not want to be around Guts at all when she gets her memories back, if she does get her memories back from the Fairy King? Just think about that for a second. All these issues, all these troubles, all these pains, all these hardships he's went through for the majority of this series for Casca, what if she doesn't want to be with him anymore, or doesn't even want to be around him? I mean, imagine how hurt Guts would be if he hears those words out of her mouth. So, moving past that, okay, I'm gonna get off that topic. The next thing I want to talk about is the overall man-made behelit. So, apparently, if you stitch together multiple apostles together, and you make this, like, reincarnation device, you can make your own man-made behelit. That is something. So, Daiba, I think that's the dude's name. Daiba made his own man-made behelit. And the Emperor put himself inside of it, you know, he turned into whatever the fuck he was at the end, like this demon god at the end of the volume. So, apparently you can have a man-made Behelit. That's interesting. It really is. And a reincarnation of a reincarnation. That's also very interesting if you think about the, you know, the wording of that. So, this volume, for the most part, it sets up a lot of things. Like, the selling prince is one aspect I do want to talk about. It's definitely going to be a very crucial part about whatever's coming up, because Guts and company is on this ship selling to the Elf Island, so it's very obvious that the selling Prince Roderick is going to be very important in this upcoming arc. I don't know what next arc is, but he's going to be very important for the next journey with Guts, because, I mean, they're on a ship, he's a master, you know, ship master, like, he knows how to control his men and ship, so definitely he's going to be very important. So, the selling Prince, my first impressions of him, it's definitely improved. Like, when I first saw Roderick in, you know, the, like, town or whatever, when he was going to be forced to marry Farnese, I didn't really have much of an impression of him. I didn't, because, I mean, he seemed like a standard-ass noble. He did. He seemed like a standard rich-ass noble, and he just wanted to control things. That's what he looked like to me, honestly. And after seeing him in this volume, he really holds his own as a nobleman. He really does. And I have slightly more respect for him in this volume. I mean, the way he actually carries himself, the way he holds his men, and, like, he has this, like, atmosphere around him, the way he actually respects Guts and respects Kosk and everybody else, I mean, he's definitely a respectable character, and I definitely respect his demeanor and his entire atmosphere around him, so I'm looking forward to seeing more about his character in the future volumes. I really am. But the thing is, okay, I wonder if Farnese is really going to go through with marrying Roderick, because, I mean, they still kind of have that political marriage on the table still. I mean, it's never been really denied or accepted yet, so it's still on the table. I wonder if Farnese will choose to marry Roderick. That is something I'm really wondering right now. And then you also have, you know, Farnese's brother that's, you know, on the ship. He has a very interesting piece of dialogue in this volume that's definitely going to play, most likely, a role when we get to the Elf Island. You can see how his character personality, Farnese's brother, he's very greedy, selfish, and he wants to obtain things. Like, he just wants things. Because he was discussing with Roderick in this volume, which is actually why I kind of have more respect for Roderick. He was discussing with Roderick that we should, you know, conquer the Elf Island, and we should capture these elves and sell them to the noblemen and noblewomen, and just, you know, get money off of them, breed them to where they, like, majority of people want to buy these all the time. Pretty much, you had to where Farnese's brother wanted to make money off of elves. And I'm thinking, like, that's really fucked up. That really is. He wants to turn the elf race into slaves. And it just shows you his character when that is revealed. Like, what type of person he really is. Because, I mean, we've seen his personality slightly, but we haven't really seen it to that type of extent. And to see how he was willing to go that far, like, I mean, what if Roderick would have agreed to that? I mean, let's just think about it. This isn't if, this is hypothetical, but what if Roderick would have said, like, yeah, let's go conquer Elf Island, let's capture these fairy bastards, or elf bastards, and let's just, you know, take them back and sell them to noblemen, you know, noblewomen and stuff like that. I mean, what if Roderick would have agreed to that? It would have been very, very bad. It would have. But there's just a lot going on here. I have my suspicions about this dude. I wonder what type of role he's going to play in the future, because, I mean, Kentaro brought this dude along, and I wonder what role he's going to play, because usually every character that is introduced into Berserk has some form of role to play. It may not play out right when they're introduced, but maybe 200 chapters down the road, this character might have importance, and I'm willing to bet that this dude is going to have some major-ass importance later on down the road, but I'm curious to what is it. Okay, so the next thing I want to move on to is supposedly when the Emperor turned to whatever he was, like that demon god at the end of the volume, you had it to where, like, the Behelit that is on Guts, like, way far off, like, so fucking far away, was changing. Like, as we know from the Behelits we have seen through the journey of Berserk, that Behelit's face is, like, conjoined into, like, a regular face, like a regular human face, when, you know, it's activating and about to open up to the God Hand. Well, in the volume, the Behelit that's on Guts, with Puck usually, the face forms into, like, the face of a Behelit when it's about to activate, so that's not good. That is really not good. I wonder if that Behelit's gonna suck in Guts to the God Hand or something, because for the Behelit to be activating, shit is going down, because either that represents that this dude, the Emperor, he really has destroyed the world's reason, and he can affect the world to that far extent. Like, Guts and all of them are so far away from the Emperor right now, like the events where the Emperor's at, and for them to be even affected by it and to feel whatever's going on with the sinister aura, that's not good. It's really not good. So I wonder what type of role that, you know, Behelic's going to play, too, because, I mean, for it to be activating something like that, I wonder what role it's going to play. So, I think that's pretty much this volume of Berserk. I mean, it's a simple volume. It's a setup volume. That's what it is. And I feel like I covered everything. I think I did. I really do. If I missed something, I'm sorry. Don't butcher me. Don't, you know, cut my head off. I'm sorry. I missed things, too. But I think I got everything. I think I got everything that was really, really important to this volume. So, tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I mean, how do you feel about this volume of Berserk? I cannot wait to see the next volume. I am really hyped up to see volume 34 because that ending is just so... the cliffhanger fucking sucks. It really does. But tell me your thoughts in the comments below. I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.